Welcome to Tampa Bay, Florida, the hip urban center of Florida's Gulf Coast. The city is known for its annual pirate-themed festival, Gasparilla, which began more than 100 years ago and now features one of the biggest parades in the country. Before the city was founded in 1849, the area was home to Native Americans who fished in the bay and river. Now Tampa is a growing city, home to more than 350,000 residents. With scenic waterfront views and a temperate climate year-round, people come to embrace the outdoors.
Welcome to Family Travel. I'm Colleen Kelly, and we're about to dive into Tampa Bay. You ready?
In this episode of Family Travel, we'll show you what makes Tampa Bay, a bustling Gulf Coast city, the perfect place for your family vacation. You'll see why people from all over the world travel here to the Florida sunshine and cultural institutions. Join us as we take a tour through Ybor City, the city's historic Latin Quarter. Taste authentic Cuban food at the oldest restaurant in Florida, swim with sharks at the Florida Aquarium, explore the Tampa Theater's haunted history, and come face to face with some gentle giants at the Lowry Park Zoo. My name is Colleen Kelly, and when I was single, I lived abroad and traveled the world. Then I became a parent and wondered, how would I ever travel again? So I set out to find a new way to travel and get back to exploring the world family style. I'm here to guide you on how to get the most out of your family vacation. Pack your bags and join me, Colleen Kelly. We're going on vacation. Funding provided by...
Is this my car? State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these.
Is this my car?
This is ridiculous!
This is ridiculous. Ah!
From car insurance to car loans, State Farm is here to help life go right.
We're starting our trip to Tampa Bay with an adrenaline-inducing dive underwater at the Florida Aquarium. Located in downtown Tampa in the Channel District, the aquarium is steps from the largest port in the state, the Port of Tampa. With its home along the water, the Florida Aquarium serves as a giant 250,000 square foot classroom. Families can get up close and personal with more than 20,000 aquatic animals and plants that live and thrive in Tampa Bay's wetlands, bays, beaches, and coral reefs. We're ready for a unique adventure, so we head straight to the largest exhibit in the aquarium, where a master diver is waiting for us.
Hi, how are you?
My name's David.
Colleen,
David
nice to
Spinner.
meet you.
Nice
Shay?
to meet you. Nice to meet you, Shay. Nice to meet you. Great. Hey, mate. Nice
Yeah.
to meet you. We're going to take you over and have a look at the water. Is that cool?
Yes,
All right,
of
let's go
course.
see where you know it's not. In here, we have lots of fish, as you can see. You've got some bluefish. You've got all kinds of different fish. Very, very cool over here. We've got some stingrays. We have some eels in here. Very baby eels. You'll see them when you're swimming over on that side.
So where are we going to be swimming with the
Well,
fish?
first off, you're going to swim on this side. So this is where you're going to start. And then from there, depending how you feel, then we're going to take you on the other side, okay? On the other side, that's where we've got some sharks on the other side, okay? Now, these sharks, by the way, extremely, really cool sharks. They are perfect for the aquarium because they look gnarly, but actually they're very, very safe.
Okay, well, this
We'll
is
give
an
it a go.
opportunity that not a lot of people get. So
No,
I think
it's
we
just-
should do it.
Yeah, why not?
What do
Perfect.
you think? We'll test this side out.
Test this side out. So
Okay.
you guys are going to put your
Okay.
wetsuits on, and then we're going to see you back up here in a few minutes, right?
Thank you, yeah.
Right.
You ready?
Unlike most aquariums, the Florida Aquarium actually allows visitors to become part of an exhibit. Kids as young as 6 can snorkel with the fish in the Coral Reef Gallery, which is modeled after the dry tortugas, a reef found in the Florida Keys. Children 9 and older can take a thrilling swim with the sharks. Of course, if you'd rather stay dry, you can look at the more than 1,600 fish from inside the aquarium.
Okay, we're going to get changed. All right, let's go.
Wetsuits on, it's time to get in the water. Our master divers, Dave and Sam, teach us about our equipment before getting in the water. We'll wear a small scuba tank, a regulator, and a flotation device to keep our bodies on the surface of the water.
How's it feel?
What an experience this is. This is going to be fun. We'll get comfortable with our equipment before setting out to explore the reef.
You ready?
All right, let's go. Head off this thing. So switch your hand. Want to see the eel over here?
Yeah. Come over here, girls. Let's go see the eel.
The 500,000 gallons of water come from the Mexican Gulf Coast, where it's crystal clear. We see all kinds of fish, including moray eels, a prickly porcupine fish, and a colorful sturgeon fish. We even come close to a few stingrays.
What do you guys think? You ready for some sharks?
Shay and I decide to face our fears and swim among the sharks. At 9 feet long, the sand tiger shark is the biggest in the tank. But the master divers assure us the sharks are not aggressive. In fact, they're more afraid of us than we are of them. Our master divers guide us around the surface of the tank as we take in the sights. It is exhilarating.
Giant sharks are right below us. Did you ever think you would swim with fish that big, Keelan? Or sharks, Shay?
I'm scared.
But you did it.
And before getting out of the water, Keelan and Shay get a special souvenir to remember the experience, a shark's tooth.
I don't know how to explain this experience. First of all, I never thought that I'd ever swim with sharks or have the courage to do it, but I did it. So I'm kind of proud of myself. And I learned a lot about sharks that, you know, they're more afraid of us than we are of them.
We're back on land and headed for the zoo. With more than 1 million visitors every year, the Lowry Park Zoo is one of the most popular zoos in the region and has been recognized as one of the top zoos in the country. Following a redevelopment project, the zoo opened to the public in 1988 with 24 acres of exhibit space. Today, the zoo covers 56 acres and offers visitors a chance to see and engage with animals from around the world. As you make your way through the zoo, make sure to look up. Several times a day, birds of prey from the Spirits of the Sky show soar overhead in an awe-inspiring flight. The Lowry Park Zoo is known for its animal conservation work and educational programs. Many animals at the zoo are endangered, threatened, or vulnerable species in their native habitats. Visitors have the unique opportunity to watch conservation in action, particularly at the Manatee Encounter exhibit, where people come nose to nose with manatees that are being rehabilitated and treated by the zoo's staff.
So cute. Oh, look at the baby.
It's using its little arms.
The Manatee Hospital is the only nonprofit critical care facility of its kind in the state. Since 1991, the hospital has taken in more than 400 sick, injured, or orphaned manatees. More than half have been re-released into the wild. Although it is a working hospital, many students on field trips and educational programs have the opportunity to go behind the scenes to learn more about the manatees. We're lucky enough to meet with animal keeper Jamie Vaccaro, who has been working with the manatees for 8 years.
Hi, my name is Jamie. Good, how are you all?
Great.
Welcome to Lowry Park Zoo's Manatee Hospital.
Thank you. This is amazing. Tell me a little bit about this. This is just like an exhibit. This is a hospital, right?
We are a hospital, and a lot of people don't know that we are a hospital. So none of these manatees that you see here are going to stay here permanently. They're all, once they're rehabilitated, are going to go back into the wild, back to where they were found.
I have a question.
Sure.
How do you find these, like, hurt manatees?
That's a great question. Well, manatees, as I said, sometimes they come in due to boat strikes. People such as yourself may be along the waterway, you may be out kayaking or on a boat, and you may see a manatee that looks injured, such as this manatee, his name is Newman, floating or something that doesn't look right. So people will call Florida Fish and Wildlife. There's a stranding hotline or just an information line that you can call, report a sick, injured, or what you may think an orphan manatee, and they will go out and try to find that manatee. And if they deem it needs medical attention, it'll come to our facility, or there's 2 other hospitals in the state of Florida.
How do you feed a manatee?
That's a great question. You know what? I could tell you, but let me go show you.
Manatees eat a lot. Food alone costs the zoo $30,000 a month, making the manatees the most expensive species to feed.
So this is one way that we'll feed our manatees, this pipe here. So what I'm gonna have you do, if you both wanna help me load this feeder up, what you're gonna do is just grab a head of endive here and kind of shove it right in the tube. And we're gonna fill this all the way up and then place it in to give the manatees a snack.
I'm gonna help.
This is a snack?
It is. Manatees eat all day long.
They eat a lot.
They do.
But it's so healthy, right?
This pool alone, with all the manatees we have, are eating about 700 pounds of food a day. So,
Oh my gosh.
perfect.
lot.
All right, so we're gonna put this in.
Yeah.
See them eat.
There he is.
Aw, is that the baby?
It's a smaller calf. It's not a baby.
Look, he's eating.
But babies, When they're a year old, they're about 300 to 400 pounds. So
Yeah, that's a big baby.
it's a big baby. They actually have
Really?
fingernails on their front flippers. And for a lot of times they'll use them for scratching.
I love this. This is so fun. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for visiting.
Did you learn a lot?
Yeah. I learned how to feed a manatee.
And the fact that they get to come in here and we see so many cases that manatees that you just wonder how they ever survive. They're so resilient, and our team is 100% dedicated to helping them in that moment when they come in, and then the moment when you get to release them. It's unlike any other moment you'll ever know, because you're knowing that you're letting them back out and they're gonna have another chance at life where they didn't prior to that. So
I'm sure the manatees are glad you're here.
it's a wonderful experience. Thank you.
A visit to Tampa Bay wouldn't be complete without a hair-raising visit to Busch Gardens. The 365-acre African-themed park has something for every member of the family to enjoy. For the thrill seekers in the family, take a ride on one of the park's 6 top-rated roller coasters. The newest of the pack is Cobra's Curse, which features a 70-foot vertical lift followed by a frenzied journey forward, backward, and spinning all the way around. Prepare for a stomach-lurching 300-foot drop on Falcon's Fury, the tallest freestanding dive coaster in America. The triple-launch coaster Cheetah's Hunt is the longest coaster in the park, but that doesn't mean you'll have time to catch your breath. Shikra is a floorless dive coaster that takes riders on a pure 90-degree drop. And if you feel like going upside down, pull down your shoulder bars and go for a ride on Mantu and Kumba. For family members who prefer more mild rides, try the Sand Serpent, a 5-story coaster that takes guests around curves, small drops, and corkscrews. And for a thrill of a different kind, reserve a spot on a Serengeti safari tour. With roller coasters as your backdrop, take a guided tour through the 65-acre park, modeled after the Serengeti Plain. While riding in an open-air truck, guests encounter black and white rhinos, impalas, zebras, wild beasts, and other African species, while tour guides educate visitors about the animals. There's even an opportunity to feed giraffes. Don't forget your camera. This is an experience the family won't want to forget. Tampa Bay is a place people come to embrace the outdoors. After all, it's sunny and warm here most days, and one of the best ways to enjoy the beautiful weather and take in the culture of the city is by taking a walk or bike ride along the Riverwalk. The 2.4-mile waterfront path winds along the Hillsborough River and Garrison Channel. It connects 5 museums, including the Glazer Children's Museum, 7 parks, and many shops, restaurants, and hotels. Kelly Prito and her daughters, Amelia and Anna, live near the Riverwalk and like to ride their bikes along the path.
It's so wonderful. I can't tell you what a wonderful asset it is to Tampa. We live here. We utilize it all the time. There's multiple museums, galleries, fun places to eat, always a festival, something going on downtown. So for us as a family, it's something that we just love to do on the weekends, and there's something for everyone.
I love coming down here with my family and all the festivals they have, and it's really fun to come down here and hang out. I like to come down here and see there's always like a festival or something going on every time we come down here.
The city's bike share program, Coast Bike Share, offers tourists and locals reasonably priced bike rentals and convenient pickup and drop-off locations throughout the city.
When we have friends come in town, the first thing I recommend to them is hop on a bike and tour the Riverwalk.
Just steps from the Riverwalk is the Glazer Children's Museum. Opened in 2010, the museum has 2 floors packed full of fun for kids.
This place looks so much fun. What can families discover here?
Well, it's so great to have you, Colleen. Looking at our space, you can see they're discovering theater, they're discovering engineering, how to be a healthy, well child. They'll shop in Publix. They might go to a vet clinic, or they can be a fire hero here.
Yeah.
Play such an activator of our minds. It's so great to be in a purposeful play setting like a children's museum, and that's what we do for Tampa Bay, is we become a purposeful play that builds kids' minds.
Yes, they're learning here.
Absolutely.
So when I was younger, we didn't have the interactive museums that you have here. That's what I love about this
Yes.
museum. You can touch anything.
This is this is all touch, right?
Yes.
This is a place where that's essential to your learning experience. And we even have great exhibits, and they're all physical. Being in a hands-on environment means your kids are learning. So engage with them. Be a partner with us in this children's museum and engage your kids.
Does that mean I get to go play too?
Absolutely.
Okay, if you don't mind, I'm going to do that.
I would love to have you play.
I find the girls in the popular Get Moving exhibit, which challenges kids to test their strength, endurance, and speed throughout a series of activities. But first, we have to get our stats.
75 pounds. Here, how about this, Cece? You can do it too.
No way!
Go ahead.
Are you going to keep that covered?
Yes, I will.
No mother wants to be weighed on television. I think it doesn't work unless you get weighed. Yeah, I'm good. I know I'm tall. That's good enough.
Next, the girls hit the climbing wall. And then it was on to test our goaltending skills.
Oh wow, this is cool. You can actually play on screen. Look at this. There they are. Good luck, girls. Catch it. Oh, Shay, you got it. Did you get it? Ready? What do I do? This is hard.
Oh, you missed it.
Hold on.
We found a clever way to improve our jump shot.
Pick me up, pick me up. Oh,
Okay.
I got
Well, what's... Oh! Okay. Ready? Higher, higher. Woo!
that. Oh, I get it now. I did it wrong.
And Shay got to test out her reflexes.
This scares me.
I love to bring Olivia here to the Children's Museum because, first of all, it's air conditioned, which is excellent, and she's free to run anywhere and just explore all kinds of things that we don't have an opportunity to at home or even outside. And it's just safe, and every little station is different, so it keeps her engaged. I love it.
Before it's time to go, the girls put on a finale performance in the Twinkle Stars Theater.
But why? You have to.
One of Tampa's oldest and most historic buildings is its namesake movie theater, the Tampa Theater. First opened in 1926 as a silent movie palace, the theater was part of a wave development across downtown Tampa in the 1920s. Built by a famed theater architect, John Eberson, the inside was designed to feel like a Mediterranean courtyard, complete with a starry sky overhead. The theater was considered one of the most elaborate in the country at the time. And 90 years later, it's one of the best preserved.
In the 9 decades we've been here, a lot has changed, and of course a lot has stayed the same. The architecture that you see behind me with the beautiful columns and the gargoyles and all the ornate decorative plasterwork around the stage, that's all original.
Not only is the Tampa Theater one of the most popular historic theaters in the country, with over 600 events a year, it is also considered to be the most haunted building in Tampa. Around Halloween every year, the theater offers haunted tours, which center around the story of the theater's longtime projectionist, Fink Finley.
Fink was our projectionist here back in his life from about 1930 to about 1965. Now, he did not die in the building. He fell ill here and died about 2 weeks later at home. But ever since then, our projectionists have told us that they think Fink might still be coming to work every day. Every projectionist we've had up there has had experiences from doors feeling like they're being pulled open behind them, things falling off counters when there's nobody up there, and specifically when they're projecting movies and watching the screen for their next cue, feeling like somebody's tapping them on the shoulder to get them to pay attention.
Although haunted tours are only offered to visitors around Halloween, the theater has hundreds of events and movie screenings year-round. So when you're in Tampa Bay, make sure to pay a visit to Tampa Theater and say hi to Fink. The historic Latin Quarter of Tampa is known as Ybor City. In the late 19th century, Cuban-born Don Vicente moved his cigar business from Key West to Ybor City, which drew immigrants from Cuba, Spain, Italy, Germany, and Romania. By the turn of the century, there were more than 200 cigar-making factories throughout Ybor City and West Tampa, and the area became known as the cigar capital of the world. More than a century later, Ybor City is still a hub for Hispanic culture and is a popular area for locals and tourists alike. We start our tour of Ybor City in Jose Marti Park, where we meet local historian Manny Leto.
Not only am I in Ybor City in Tampa Bay, but I am standing in Cuba right now.
You are.
Is this right?
Yeah, you're on a little piece of Cuban soil right here in the Tampa Bay area. Ybor City is this really fascinating part of Tampa's history, filled with Cuban immigrants, Italian immigrants, and Spanish immigrants who came to Tampa to roll cigars in the late 19th century and early part of the 20th century. And they came here not only to roll cigars, but also to escape a revolution that was happening in Cuba. And that's really how we end up with this little piece of Cuba right here in Tampa. This site was a boarding house that was owned by a Cuban family, and they transferred the ownership of the land to the Cuban government, and it has stayed in their ownership ever since.
That's fascinating to me. What can families today do in Ybor City?
Well, Ybor City is such a special part of Tampa. The architecture and just the cultural flavor of this neighborhood is something you really don't want to miss.
I love all the culture and history here in Ybor City, and I had no idea Tampa Bay had this much going on.
Cuba, America. Cuba, America.
Hey girls, are you ready to go see the rest of Ybor City?
We're leaving you in Cuba.
Okay, leave me in Cuba. Goodbye. See you later. Oh, I'm gonna go with them.
Okay.
The best way to take in the sights of Ybor City is with a stroll down the main street, 7th Avenue. Restaurants, bars, and shops line the street. Glance into the window of one of several cigar shops on 7th Avenue, and you may see someone hand-rolling cigars, just like they did a century ago. And if you're looking for a faster, maybe cooler way to get from one end of Ybor City to the other, hop on a streetcar. The air-conditioned cars make 4 stops along 8th Avenue. The last stop on our tour of Ybor City is sure to be the most delicious.
So the Columbia restaurant opened in 1905 and has been here in Ybor City ever since. It is one of the oldest restaurants in the state of Florida.
Well, we're excited to go eat. I just want to thank you so much. It was such a treat. Can you say thank you,
Enjoy.
girls? Okay.
Enjoy. See you later. Bye.
I'm starving. Let's go. So this is a legendary restaurant. Tell me a little bit about it.
Columbia Restaurant has a very, very rich history that dates back to 1905 when it was founded by my great-great-grandfather, Casimir Hernandez Sr. And it started as a very small corner cafe that sold Cuban sandwiches, black beans, those tastes of Spain and Cuba that so many of the Cuban immigrants and the Spanish immigrants that came to Ybor City at the turn of the century were craving. And over the years, we went from a small corner cafe to actually encompassing a whole city block. We have 15 dining rooms, 1,700 seats, and we're proud to still be a part of Ybor City.
What makes it so popular? The food, I'm guessing.
The food probably makes it very popular, but I think it's also that passion and that love and the history.
So tell me a little bit about the food. Like, what are your specialties?
Probably one of our most famous items is the Cuban sandwich. Something so simple, but it truly represents Ybor City because it represents all of the people that came to Ybor at the turn of the century, with the ham being the Spanish, the pork being the Cubans, the salami being the Italians, and then the mustard being the Germans. So it's a true representation of Ybor City. But besides that, we're very known for our paella, which is the national dish of Spain.
That sounds good.
We've got something for everybody here.
That's great. Well, I'd like to try it, if that's okay.
Why don't we go have some lunch and go watch the flamenco dance?
Okay, that's all. Oh, good.
It's time to eat. We want to get a taste for everything, so we order several of the house specialties. A Cuban sandwich, black beans, gazpacho, a classic 1905 salad, and paella.
That is really good. I've never had a soup like that before. Have you? You taste the,
Oh my goodness.
the smoked
Look how good
flavor?
that looks.
Oh my gosh, that looks so good. I'm gonna have to try that, Keelan. Can I try that?
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
really good.
What does it taste like?
Like a sandwich. A really good
A
sandwich.
really good sandwich. Wow, that is good. This is a Cuban sandwich. They're known for this here.
Here we go.
That is great, gazpacho. You wanna try it? It is really good. It's a cold soup. Have you ever had a cold soup before?
No.
Try it. Do you like it?
It
good,
tastes
isn't it?
different, but it's really good.
All the food has been super good, but the paella is what they're really known for, and we are super excited to get that, right? Yeah, it's gonna be good. That looks so good. Wow. It's so colorful, too. Are you ready?
What's this?
Calamari.
Try it.
Oh my goodness, what is this?
Flamenco dancers perform nightly at the restaurant. We can't sit still for long, so we decide to join in to learn a few moves. What an amazing adventure we had here in Tampa Bay, Florida. We explored historic Ybor City and learned how to dance the flamenco, helped feed the rescued manatees at the Lowry Park Zoo, put on our own show at the Glazer Children's Museum, and who could forget diving with the sharks at the Florida Aquarium. I can't wait to get my family back here to Tampa Bay. This is a city of sunshine and adventure. Thanks for watching Family Travel. I'm Colleen Kelly. Enjoy making memories on your next family vacation.
Didn't you guys making silly faces like that?
Yeah, because I had him going from fork to mouth.
She's taking pictures. Okay. Are you ready?
They're taking pictures of us.
Oh, yeah.
I'm recording. Hey, how y'all doing?
Funding provided by...
Is this my car? State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these.
Is this my car?
This is ridiculous!
This is ridiculous. Ah!
From car insurance to car loans, State Farm is here to help life go right.
For more information on upcoming destinations and projects, visit FamilyTravelCK.com. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and check us out on Snapchat. We'd love to hear from you.